a lot of time on the other one on Tzitzis yesterday, and we'll try to get back to it. So here we are on page Tuf Kuf Mem Gimel, and we've been following along these little letters here, and we're the last little letter that we got to. Uh, so if you find the number Zion, which is in the bottom of the first paragraph of the right column. It says Olam Hashlishi Sheyatzim Mishorish Melech Hashlishi that comes from the third Melech Shehu Gevura Yard V'Nispasha Damata Ad Olam Asiya. It goes all the way down to Olam Asiya. So let's start with number Zion here, and it says Rei B'Shem Ma'amari Rashbi. Let me see. I haven't got this lined up right. Okay, there we go. What's in here? Let me 1 second. Okay, so it says Ray B'Shari Maimari Rashbi. Oh, I read the wrong place. Ray again B'Shari Maimari Rashbi, same thing. He said Vizel L'Shon the Vidaki Gimel Olomas B'Spashni Namata. So he said from this place, which is the first tikkun of Eric Anpin, of the beard of Eric Anpin, Ki Olam Rishon Hu Sod Nahar Dinur. Now I'm not sure exactly how I understand that, but let's just see what he says. He says the first Olam, it's mispashetu, is the secret of the Nar Dinur, Asher Elef Alofim Yisham Sheni, which he quotes that pasuk in Daniel, is I guess it's 1,000 thousands are serving me. I'm not sure exactly what that means. B'hinei hechel hagevuros shel shiva hechelos in his karim bo bezor. So this is the secret of 7 different hechelos that we find that are mentioned in the Zohar and Parsha Pekudi. Hanikra Hechel Haschus. So this is called the Hechel Haschus. V'sham Omed Zeh HaNahar. This is where you find this river. Kenizka Sham. So what's the concept of a river? What is he trying to tell me? He's trying to say there's a flow going this way, and it's fixed in this place called the Hechel Haschus. Ki osam azayin hechelos heim ba'olam abriya, because we understand that the concept of hechelos, and it remains to be seen exactly what hechelos means or what it does in terms of abriya. I know it refers to steps or levels. So he says ki osam azayin hechelos shal olam abriya. Olam Asheni, and the second world. So then he says, then the second world, that's the first world. This Pasha Behechel Haschusha Olam Yitzira goes, and that he goes into another Hechel in Olam Yitzira. It's the same whole Hechel Haschus. Of the Alma Tadisah, then the first one, of the third one, who Behechel Haschus Shalasiyah. Adkan V'chein Ku B'Mabu Sharm. Now that's just an introduction to ideas, and I really can't put together why exactly. So I guess Heichel Schus must correspond to what was he talking about? Which one? Vidaki Gimel Lomos Olam Rishon. So the first was, so he says, well, they all go into that place, which I'm assuming. Well, I don't know what the Heichel Schus actually adds up to. Okay, so now the next one is going to be on number Ches. Where that is, I don't know. But let's start reading from the top, where it says, Ba'ata Nachsa the Divrei Hashar Mamari Rashbi. So apparently this is all coming from the Mamari Rashbi on Alshat Sayin Kan the Beer Maimach Idraba. Umine Misachdim Bakista Ba'azka Rabba. So this is what he says. This is where we're reading to. And it says that there's this concept here, but we saw that previously, and I forgot what it meant. Now he's going to tell us. He says, Kan the beer Maimer Ha'idra Rabba umine misachdim bekista ba'azka Rabba. So everything is tied together with this kista of the Azka Rabba. So now we have to find out what is kista, the kasta, I don't know how to pronounce it, ba'azka Rabba. So let's look over number Ches here at the bottom. It has a little arichas to it. And let me see how I can do this. 1 second. Okay, not bad. Ray B'Shar Mamari Rashbi. Back there again. Al Maimecha Idra Rabba Sham. Umine misachnim b'kista rabba b'hiska ba'azka rabba. Kista hu lashon mida v'shir. So it means a small amount or some kind of amount. So this is what we have to understand this. Da ki hamochem shel zer anpen hine henim shachim bo me'ima ilah. Where do the mochem and zer anpen come from? They come from ima ilah. L'mehem yotzim atfilin, and then you see that the tefillin come out from there. The chutz kenizke b'makomo. So we understand that the shefa pushes this abundance out. V'kasher hitel Hashem Elokim tardema ala Adam. So all of this part of the Nasira that we understand, who Zeranpin, which is this Adam, which is also Zeranpin. Mistalekas misocho ima ilah. She leaves him. V'az she pulls out. V'az ima ilah meir leishon basayin shines into Malchus, which is called the Ishon, which is, I guess, I'm not sure if it's Lashon Isha, Bas Ayin, the daughter of the eye. Exactly, we have that phrase in Kriya Shema Lamita. So he says, Ima ilah meir leishon basayin. Kamavur in Yano, Etzleno, like we have this explained by us, V'berchos HaMapil, Hevle Shenai, Alenai, over there, by Kriya Shema Alamita. Ki Ishim Basayin, he nukva dezer anpin, hano omedis ma'achroi. So all of this probably know. Meir ima ilah derek achrei kosvoy dezer anpin al nukve. So where is the nukve? She's on the back of zer anpin, and she shines around the back of zer anpin into the nuk. Now the stream is going that way. And now it's going into Malchus. It's not dead. She still shines into him a midah of life force. Kista the Iska Rabbah. This is like the Kista, right? We said is the midah of the Iska Rabbah. So now you need to know what the Iska Rabbah is, which Iska means ring. So Haki Kista the Kiyus, so that is this midah of Kiyus. Hanimshak alazer anpin minabina hanikwas Iska Azka Rabbah, and she is called the Azka Rabbah. So this world that we're talking about, what world are we talking about? This situation is it extends until there. And grabs a hold. So let me just try. He's talking about the kista. Let me go back a little bit. Bezehu masha Amar kan kista the Izka Rabba shehi haki kista the kiyasa hanimshak alaza min habina hanikras azka Rabba. So he said, Bihine Olam Zeh. So we're talking about, I guess, the first Olam. I'm not sure. Nimshak Ad Sham extends down into that place. That is the place of the shoulders. Misache Sham Ba'osa Makasvim Acharayim Dezer Anpin, and grabs a hold or fixes itself onto the back of Zer Anpin. Guvar Be'artim, we already explained. So I'm trying to understand. He's trying to explain to me what the flow of the light is that's coming from the first tikkun. And he says that you have to go backwards and you have to see how it is that it's originally this kista, the kiyasa, has to do with the nasira, or at least the pulling out of ima, out of Zer Anpin and shining on his back, which is where the nook is located. Guvarbi Arti ki Kosef Bigamatria 500. Vishnei Pamim Kosef Him Aleph makes that 1,000. So he says V'Inyan Hu. So the Inyan is like this. Ki Bebechinas Adas Shuhu Zeha Olam Arisha. When we talk about Das, because that's the first Olam, that is the Das, is the first at the first Tikkun. So that is the first melech who has two malachim along with him. Who nimshach acher kach al shtei hakasvim shel chesed gevura. So now what we're talking about, he says that this first melech, which is carrying the other malachim along with him, is also got this shtei kasvin shel chesed gevura. This is where this is all coming down. All of these three are not, that's the way I understand it, are now coming down, carrying along with it the shoulders or the arms, now the top of the arms, which one represents chesed, one represents gevura. So what do we have? We have the number one. The das is spread around. I didn't get to trying to transfer. He says the mochim pull out, then they go around the back and they go to zeranpin. Now I'm trying to get the connection between das and the mochin evima that leaves zeranpin. What this has to do with the kista the chiyasa that has to do with zeranpin. So I don't hear it yet. So he says shtei bechinas chesed the gevura. So now you have all these chesed, and they're on the right and left shoulders. Hine hu nimshach achar kach el shtei hakasvim shel chesed the gevura. So after that, it comes around the back. It's split. It goes into these two shoulders. One is chesed, one's gevura. Vosam elef almim. So now you have two shoulders, which makes 1,000. Shabo hu mamshicham. That is where all of this shefa is flowing down. Sham el shtei hakasfayim kasefos. He calls it kasefos. With the two shoulders, which are 500 each, the kasef yamim v'tak lekasef small. He says ki katef, that word begematria tafkaf. Well, so it's 500 kanisker. Begam bi'arti l'cha be'idra hazazinu. Ki trin kasvin shal erik anpin hem so trin itrin shabadas dezer v'nuk. So he says, now let's go back over here. Let's see about this again. He says, I've also been explained in the Idris of Zinu. He says, ki trin kasvin, the two shoulders of erik anpin, are the secret or the foundation of the trin itrin shabadas dezer anpin, of the two itrin of the das of zer anpin chesed gevura. Okay, and what is it? Let me check. Trin Kasvin. Okay, so the Trin Kasvin refers to, as if it was possible to say that Erik Anpin had two shoulders. Those two shoulders are the origins, I guess he's saying, of these two Itrin. Ki Trin Kasvin shall Erik Anpin heim sod Trin Itrin. It's the secret of the two Itrin shabadas, the Zer Anpin, the Nukve. One is for Zer Anpin, and the one is for the Nukve. And I guess he wants to say v'hakosiv ha'achas lo za. So za took one of the kasvayim. V'hasheni lokhu nukve. So his nuk took the other one. So that's the right shoulder and the left shoulder of Zer Anpin. He's saying that this is the origin of the chesadim and the gevuros that come along with das. Now my question is still, how do you get das over here? He said what? He said this is the first tikkun, and the first tikkun flows around the back. But wait a minute. He said he brought in some other idea. He said, but you're talking about the time that Bina pulls out of Zer Anpin. So Bina pulls out of Zer Anpin, and she leaves him with the kiss to the chiyasta. But basically, that's all he's got. So what are we talking about here? Now we got to the two shoulders of Erik Anpin. How did we get over here? I don't know. He says, in other words, how the two go together? What's Ima's pulling out of Zer Anpin, tied on to this idea of the right and left shoulder, Zer Anpin? So he said, but Nimska shtei kasefo shel Zer Anpin, shnechem einam ela elef ela kotaf echad belvad. He says the two, what do you say? The two shoulders of Zer Anpin, putting them together, they only make one shoulder. V'chein shnei ksefos nukve einam ela kosef echad belvad. So the two shoulders really represent only one shoulder. So he wants to say that there's 500 here, 500 there. It doesn't say why that would be. So Zah takes one of the shoulders, which is the concept. The Zer Anpin is the 5 chasadim. That spread from chesed to hod. Can call echad kolu b'meya because each one of them has within it 100. Hare hey meos, so there's 500. Let me just read that again. These are the concept of the Chei Chasadim, which make 500. So each one of them has to be 100. Is that what he said? Echad belvav v'noita chazecha b'kasef echad shehu tav kuf shehem b'bechinas chamesh chasadim and mispashnim b'chesed ad hod. Those are the 5 chasadim. Then he said each one of them has 100 within it. Now I know that that the Rav throws around numbers. Like I call that throwing it around because he said, where did you get the idea that each one of them is 100? So each one of them has 100 within it. I don't know where that came from. I'll just take his word for it. So this gives you 500. So the same thing, same kind of idea. Lokachas al malchus chamisha gvuras, so she takes the chamisha gvuras. V'chesed ad hod shaba, same count. Umine misachnim b'kista ba'azka rabba. And I came back to that again. It said that this is how they joined together with this little life force from the Azka Rabba. Ki me'eloch ha'kasvim de Erik Anpin. Now we're just talking about the shoulders of Erik Anpin. Misachdim, it causes a yichud v'nimshochin b'zera b'sod hahi kista mikiyas. I gotta read this again because he's actually answering my question, but it just doesn't seem like it's easy for me to get. He says from these shoulders, right? There's two, the Erik Anpin. They come together. Misachdim v'nimshochin b'za. They come together, and then as a result of that, they stream into Zah, besod hahi kista mechiyasa, from that kista the kiyasa hanimshach lo mebina, which comes to for bina hanikra azkaraba. So v'nimsa, so it comes v'nimsa kichem is achadim b'kasve zer anpen. So it comes out that they're actually come together at the shoulders of zer anpen. Now, one more time. Go back to the word ki. He says, ki me'elu hakasvim de Erik Anpin, the shoulders of Erik Anpin, that now have each one of them, I thought was a 500. I'm not sure exactly his counts now. Misachdim, that join together there, v'nimshachim b'zah, and stream it to zah, b'sod haki kista mekiyasach hanimshal no b'bina hanikra azka rabba. So the two shoulders coming together, they cause a stream to flow down as a part, which is this kista mechiyasa hanimshach lo mebina hanikras azkaraba. The nimsa, so it comes out like this: kihem misachdim bekasvoy de zer anpin. They join together at the shoulders of zer anpin. Asher behu sod olam yitzira, which we understand zer anpin is the olam yitzira. The zer anpin mekanadem toman kanizka b'tikunin. Okay, so I think I have more questions about this than before. If you took the mochin out of Zer Anpin for the purpose of building up his nukva, you said that the shoulders of Erik Anpin represent those two 500s. I'm trying to understand this. And you pulled out, Bina is pulled out, and she's streaming over to Zer Anpin, just as kista the chiyasa. All the rest of the mochim are in the nukva. And then he goes back and forth between which is on the right shoulder, what's on the left shoulder, and I really don't have the idea really well yet. So hopefully we'll try to understand how this flow goes. And let's go over to the next shiur.